So I'm at this wedding the other night, and it was one of those suede yarmulke, bare elbow weddings. You know, modern Orthodox, but not too modern. They had a mechitza down the middle. All the seating was mixed. It was all good. There were like the couple token black hat guys, all the guys who were getting up and giving brachas under the chuppah. Except this time you can understand the brachas. Instead of calling them up with that whole, I feel like they hire the most Yiddisher announcers possible, and they get up there like, and they get up there and you're like, what the freak did that guy just say? They scream into the microphone, and it's always like this like dank ass Yiddish, like back of the shul, like, and it wasn't like that. It was a normal guy, the Kala's brother, Shar Yashev guy, after the Shar Yashev, so he was kind of a normal dude, making the bracha, so it was good. Got up there, everything was good. I noticed the shul didn't really have a mechitza, but it was an Orthodox shul, so I guess there was a mechitza, but it was one of those kind of mechitzas that kind of blend in, so there's not really a mechitza, so psychologically people aren't like, well, it's separate, but it's not separate. It was in Great Neck Synagogue. Freaking beautiful place, man. Their bathrooms were like immaculate, man. It was a pleasure to be standing at that urinal, and everyone was very polite and cordial, and you could tell it's not a yeshivish wedding because there was soap in the bathrooms, there was no washing cup. It wasn't one of those like metal bins outside with like washing cups dangling from chains and everyone just throwing paper towels everywhere and they're stuffing up the drains. No, it wasn't. It was really classy. It was like you walked in right to the sushi bar, pound the sushi. You know why sushi is so good at weddings though? It's not even that sushi tastes so good. Sushi to me is like mediocre. Sushi's great. It's a great finger food, but paying like $6 or $7 for 6 pieces just drives me out of my mind, and I never buy it. I only eat it when someone else pays for me. It's sitting on someone else's plate. I say, hey man, you gonna eat that? They usually are, but they feel bad for you, so they give you one. And at weddings. So I'm at this wedding, I go right to the sushi bar, and I'm just like, you know why? Because sushi is the only item at a wedding that you know exactly how much you're eating. And you could say, I went to the wedding, I paid $6 for the tri-borough, I paid another $2 for this, I paid for this toll, I paid for this toll, I sat in traffic, but you know what? I ate $50 worth of sushi. I know, because each one of those little rolls is $1, and then I had one of them big fatties, and I was taking it down. And there weren't any forks, and I was troubled by that, so I looked around, grabbed the chopstick, and started stabbing the ginger plate. I was like, come on, man, give me some ginger. And it wasn't really working so well. And then looked around again, didn't see anyone, grabbed some ginger with my hands, put it on my plate. I was like, I was just like, and everyone who tried to talk me, it was an old-time Upper West Sider thing. He's like, Hash, what's up, man, how you doing? I'm like, just mow right past him. Like, what the hell was his problem? I'm like gluttonous, like, where's the vomitorium so I could refill? Give me some of that bulimic. Grab some anorexic chick. Dude, show me how to do it. How do you do it? What do you mean, how do I do it? How do you make yourself throw up so I can eat more? It was like that. Even though it was like, decent. So the wedding was going all good. They had a little trouble at the gartel of the kittle, and I kind of felt that it reminded me of Galila, how Galila, they're always having trouble. They can never wrap the thing in every shul, and they always hire, the one who goes up to Galila is always some shul reject, some older single guy, or like the shul, like, semi-retarded guy. It's never like a normal, functioning person. I always get Galila. That's how I know. It's personal to me, man. So, Chassan's brother's trying to get it on. It's not working. The Chassan was real happy. I gotta say, he was like the happiest dude I've ever seen at a wedding. I love you, Jay. I hope you're happy. And it was like the first time I'm at a wedding where I didn't have the inclination, like when they're walking down, and every single wedding, almost, not this one, almost every single wedding I have the inclination of getting up and being like, dude, you're gonna get laid, man, you're gonna get laid, and just screaming it. But this wedding, I think it's a lot of people were talking, everyone's hawking with their cameras, there were a lot of rich people, there were a lot of big people who probably would have killed me, so I didn't want to ruin, it was an expensive wedding, so I didn't want to ruin like $80,000, a video by yelling some obscenities out, and yeah, so whatever. So all was going well. It was going well. It was all quiet on the Western Front, shall we say. I walk in, and I knew this already, but I have to do the whole thing, the wedding. It's Modern Orthodox wedding. They're doing the horror, everyone's dancing, there's some strapless dresses, a lot of suede yarmulkes, not too many velvets. And guess what? The shidduch crisis has come to the modern Orthodox community. And how? Because some retard, I can only assume they were retarded, came up with the idea to sit every single person at the wedding in mixed tables except for the singles. Even the singles who were in relationships and not married had their own table. But the singles, for some reason for the life of me, I couldn't figure it out, were sitting separately. Not only was it sounded like Polish, it wasn't even counterintuitive. It was like, dude, it's not like the yeshivish people when you say, why don't you have, at least put the singles together. They say, the girls are going to be nervous, they'd never talked to guys before, whatever. Dude, the chicks were a bunch of half-ter chicks in strapless dresses who were like, they had the cleave, it was all good. And the guys are a bunch of yeshiva guys who hung out in Woodburn every summer smoking pot under that bridge. So I don't need to hear about afraid to talk to girls, because there was a guy at my table who was pimping it out to this teen-act chick, man. They were all trying to pimp it, and it's just like, I'm not even interested. I'm kind of seeing someone. But for my brethren, man, I mean, that was just completely ridiculous. And they had no excuse. It wasn't like they're going to feel uncomfortable or the girls are all make-upped up and they're just going to sit there like a bat mitzvah. It's not going to happen. These people grew up in co-ed environments. It's not like the frummies. The frummies, it's understandable. They want to stay in the Stone Age as long as possible. And at the very end, they say, here you go. We'll have a sit-in, and then you'll get married after 2 dates. Fine. But these people aren't the 2-date kind of people. So I just completely blew it. I even said it to the video. When they come around, they give me the video. I said, Jay, I love you, man, but your in-laws are effed up, man. I don't know what the hell's wrong with them. Because even his mother was like, I don't know, man. I think it's the weirdest shit in the world. And my dad was just like, my dad was trying to calculate the cost of the wedding out loud to himself during the chuppah. So that was that's my dad. My dad has, manners withheld. So that was really, I gotta say, man, this is just like, maybe the modern Orthodox people are trying to sell more newspapers. Maybe the Jewish Week will pick up the shidduch crisis instead of just the Yated and the Hamadiyah and the Jewish press. It'll span across all horizons until multiple newspapers are sold and people are reading. They're like, it's funny, if the shidduch crisis was really going on, you would think they would devote more page and cover pages to it. Instead, it's the same old Omert and Israeli politics that's been the same for 50 years or so. So, I don't even believe in it, man.